Fighting games are that season passed. I mean that year of DLC looks pretty good. Oh no.
SN came in, yo, I'm alright. And then shot, like, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. They took out the fucking BFG and fired it at their feet.
It you know, it's it looked so bad. It looked so
Yeah.
fucking bad. There's no other way to put it.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. So, first, Street Fighter had or has, or I'm not sure, this was 2 weeks ago, so technically it meets the news criteria. But Street Fighter has a whatchamacallit, season S that is sports themed. They gave an outfit to Honda and Rashid. Of them, Rashid is on the cover. And the other characters are all people who are not appearing in this pass or in this game so far, such as Mika, Karin, Ibuki, Mika's tech partner, Mika's trainer, JP. All of the promotional art.
I see.
None of them get shit. Fuck those guys. So yeah.
It seems like they suspiciously hit like most of the Street Fighter V women.
Yeah. And also Nanako? I think that's her name, I forget. What is the
I count her as a Street Fighter V woman even if she wasn't directly playable.
Fair enough. And then also Mika's trainer who looks suspiciously like Laura, except I think she got this redesign before Laura existed, so technically Laura looks like her.
Oh.
So anyway, you got a trailer for Street Fighter 6.
That I did. I'm glad they're finally putting me in the game. I feel I deserve it. No. Yeah, Alex got revealed. We have not seen gameplay. They have just simply shown his little cutscene that I assume plays whenever you first run into him in World Tour, as is tradition, is what they've done so far.
Yeah.
And it seems that the gimmick is that Alex has turned heel, which is of course funny because over in Virtua Fighter 6 Town, the new gimmick with Wolf Hockfield is, oh, he's turned heel.
Yeah. I also like looking. I'm looking through my news feed, and one of the articles is, yeah, Alex is cool, but what the fuck is going on at SNK? We'll get to that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Avatar had news. Ooh. They showed off their key gauge.
Oh, right. I had heard about something about them revealing also that they may have instant kills, but I didn't look into that.
Oh, I didn't hear about that, so I didn't check. But maybe.
Okay.
So yeah.
We will remain curious about that.
Yeah. Alright, is it time? Yes, it is time. Alright. City of the Wolves, Season 2 was leaked and then got revealed. The leak made people go hype. They went, yo, Blue Mary. Yo, Kim Jae-hoon. Yo, Krauser. I forget who else. Kenshiro.
Yeah, Kenshiro's not officially been revealed yet, but I mean, what the fuck was
Geese,
the point
Nightmare
of that?
Geese, right. Yeah.
Nightmare Geese, yes. Nobody's allowed to stay dead.
Yeah. But yeah, Kenshiro and probably Ryo Sakazaki is what people are thinking, or the other two.
Oh, yeah, Ryo would make sense, yeah.
So, that's that's the actual characters in this thing. And then SNK went, okay, well, I guess it gets out of the bag. Here's your reveal trailer. And it's, you know, like 30% game footage, which is fine. The game looks fine. The game is okay. when there's not rapists on screen. And then 70% AI.
Yes.
So yeah, apparently this is in keeping with whatchamacallit, with what the okay, basically the company of the prince. I forget what they're called. But they put out a statement when they bought EA, going like, yeah, EA is gonna give us like $500 billion. We're gonna be put into like $60 more billion of debt, but it's fine. We'll just use AI and then just get out of the debt through that.
I heard something about specifically, like people were saying, like, why use AI to save money? You have bazillions of dollars in Saudi blood money. And I saw someone else point out that specifically the Saudi prince in question that bought SNK owns an AI company. So this is not meant to hype up Fatal Fury. This is meant to go, yo, AI, look at it.
Ah, see, like if this was to counteract the AI buyout, it would be shit. But at least they warned us about it. This is somehow worse. You know.
Oh boy.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's. Ugh. And the thing is, and this usually ends up being the case with these things. That looks like a good season pass still, but because the AI thing is the flavor of the moment for something to be rather mad about, people aren't going to talk about, hey, look at all these characters that we want that are getting added to the game. People are going to go, fucking AI, this sucks. We should kill everybody involved at SNK.
See, most of the the response I've seen is just like, the game is good. Like, Ronaldo is a problem. The fact that Ronaldo and the DJ, the Salvador, that they're on the roster remains a problem. But like, if you can look past them, then the game is good. Why the fuck would you do this? Why would you turn people away even still?
Because AI potentially represents the possibility of infinite money.
Yeah, like that games as a service, and NFTs, and blockchain, Bitcoin,
Yeah.
synergy. I don't know.
Oil.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, this was pretty dumb. And I'm not sure what else we can say about it.
Yeah.
In terms of what's coming out for the season pass, though, hey, that's oh god, out of the 4 that they revealed, one of them was not necessarily my dude. It was Geese, Krauser, Blue Mary, and who?
Kim Jae-hoon.
Jae-hoon. Yeah. Yeah, other than the stupidity of what was going on there, hey, out of those 4 they revealed initially, 3 out of those 4 are my dudes.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Kim family guy. I'm not a Jae-hoon guy. But hey, I like Geese, I like Blue Mary, I like Krauser. So hey, on that front, I'm winning.
Yeah. After these news came out, I thought about just City of the Wolves overall, and City of the Wolves for me is in this like specific spot where I will probably shit on it until it sees as being, or I see as being, just because when we played the beta, it was a fun game, and then they've spent all of this time going, no, but it's shit though. They just keep shoveling fucking diarrhea on top of the game that was good. So now I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, it gets into the finicky space where there is a reasonable fear that this is the future of SNK. And so there is a desire to not voice any approval for City of the Wolves until it is dead and buried and SNK is never going back to it. And then maybe we can go, okay, but it was a good fighting game though. Because at that point there's less risk of SNK going, oh, they approved, that means they loved Ronaldo.
Yeah.
This is generally an issue with a lot of these sorts of things in media of the fear of the company taking the wrong lesson from it. Though, granted, usually with these sorts of things, if the company wants to take the wrong lesson from it, they will take the wrong lesson from it regardless. Because there's a very good chance that City of Wolves ends up as an abject failure that they blew loads of money on and got no return on. That they're going to go, okay, City of the Wolves 2, we're going to do it. We've learned there wasn't enough Ronaldo in that game. We put enough Ronaldo in to get people tasting it, but they want more. So City of the Wolves 2, half the roster is going to be made up of soccer players, and we made sure to get the Rapist Hall of Fame. We've decided what City of the Wolves 2 needs. Actually, it's not even soccer players. They don't want soccer players. They want rapists.
Yeah.
We decided to go even beyond, though. We're pushing past the rape of individuals into the rape of nations. So Ronaldinho will be joined by Adolf Hitler, Pol Pot, Mussolini, Emperor Hirohito.
I don't know
Genghis
why.
Khan.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna. I don't know why I thought you were gonna just all of a sudden start like instead of Ronaldinho. I thought you were just gonna say all of a sudden Ronald Reagan. Why?
Ronald Reagan famously. Look, hey, some people would believe that. Not me, but nonetheless, a lot of people would believe that. And I'm sure that if they put in Ronald Reagan, he would probably actually be more controversial with some groups than Ronaldinho was. But nonetheless, though at that point, when that's getting into a whole different group where you're going to be like, okay, military-industrial complex icons.
Like
if you want to get spicier than Reagan, I think you could go for Kissinger.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the military-industrial complex icons is that, like, you would have to include Sun Tzu, who is not a controversial figure because he's been fucking dead for millennia. So...
Well, there does get to be the thing where as long as what you did is way in the past, people don't take it so seriously. Because I just said, like, while listing off horrible people, I just said Genghis Khan. People don't think of Genghis Khan as that bad of a dude anymore because he was 500, 600 years in the past. So who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing with Genghis Khan is as well is just that, like, over time there were worse people and they made the collective conscious like re-examine how bad he was, and it's like, you know, sure, there was a lot of rape, sure there was a lot of killing, but also, like, if you were one of the conquered people who didn't die, then, you know, he was not a fucking asshole to you most of the time.
Well, he was moving on too quickly.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And of course, there's also the matters of people are to a certain degree going to care less if it's not their regions involved.
Yeah.
Observe the difference in attitudes towards Napoleon between Americans and Europeans.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, hey, Jaehoon's not the Kim son you like, right? Dong Hwan is.
Yeah, Dong Hwan is, who's base master.
Yes, he is. I remember that. I remember the time going like, "Hey, Addy finally got one of his boys launch roster." Oh, well, shit.
I mean, the thing is that, like, I can't tweet at Harden anymore because he doesn't work at Bamco, so the stakes are done. The stakes are out. He quit.
I forgot about that bit. Oh boy.
So anyway, yeah.
Go ahead.
Grand Blue revealed a new character called Isa, I think. It's a woman.
Gun Woman. The only thing I've heard about her is that she steals Dante moves.
Probably, I don't know. It's Grand Blue.
So it bears mentioning anytime the Grand Blue comes up of like, you and I don't know Grand Blue, and we don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, Grand Blue, the original game, the Mobage, got released on Steam recently. So if you want to do that, then that's there. Even though you're like not getting anything special. Like, it's not a relaunch on Steam or anything like that. It's just a separate client that they made. through Steam, and then you can't merge your existing accounts with that one because of legal reasons, I think.
Huh.
Because technically, the people who handle the account stuff for Granblue aren't actually the people who make Granblue. It's Yahoo Japan.
Really?
Or someone else. There's also another third party that also handles account stuff for them. And basically, to merge the accounts, he would need to involve Yahoo Japan or the other people as well in the Steam release. So it's just okay on the Steam release. It's mostly like Steam and also the people who make Granblue handling that shit. And outside of it, if you play it in the browser even, then it's the original people like Yahoo Japan or the other company.
I see.
So yeah.
And people do this for their anime porn.
Yes.
Okay.
We got an Evo Japan registration board. If you
Oh.
want to listen to the numbers, and holy shit, they're funny. They're so funny.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I think I did hear some goofery.
So, do you want to guess how many people applied for Street Fighter 6?
With its current popularity in Japan,
Yeah.
8 bazillion.
3,100. And I'm rounding down.
Okay.
All right. Next one in the line. How many people applied for Guilty Gear Strive?
Let's say just over 1,000.
234.
Okay, we've got an immediate massive jump. Yeah, okay. I have been hearing the talk about how right now Street Fighter is king in Japan and eating everyone else's lunch, and it's not even in question.
Yeah, so the other people, the other numbers are, numbers that make sense in light of Guilty Gear Strive, like, Tekken 8, 219, Granblue, 161. Darkstalkers got 152, which is more than Project L, and more than City of the Wolves.
I see.
Hokuto no Ken got as many people to compete as King of Fighters 15.
Oh no.
And then sadly the last one is yeah.
Is Hokuto like a popular game over there? I mean,
I don't know.
Obviously, it's Kuso, right? But nonetheless, is it popular Kuso over there?
I'm not sure. Maybe. But yeah, so the last one is Uni 2 with 45 people. So that sucks.
It's interesting to know that even in Japan, that's actually kind of an obscure game.
Yeah. But yeah, the funny thing though about Street Fighter 6's popularity, to this point, I mean, to me, is that I've been hearing more and more people talk about how even the Japanese pros are starting to get fucking sick of characters, but it's like Ed.
Yeah, there's weird gaps there between Japan and America because it seems like I'm always hearing about Japan is always saying Zangief is too strong and that Ryu is too weak, regardless of what the meta is. Which historically Ryu has been too weak for pretty well any Street Fighter, but Street Fighter 6 Ryu's doing pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, like apparently even like usually Japan, the Japanese community doesn't complain, but apparently they've started to complain about the state of Street Fighter 6 as well. So I wonder what will happen with that.
It's an interesting question. I think that it is getting to the point where people are really anticipating a big update. there is a lot of talk around it. And while I generally disagree with the mentality of feeling that the updates should massively change the game unless there's an actual massive problem that needs to be fixed, I disagree with the idea of, well, we should change up the game massively every year or two just so it's a new game. Not even to fix any problems, just because, hey, now we can say it's pretty well a new game. While I disagree with that, I do think there is a general perception for the last year or so. Year one, and to a lesser degree, year two of Street Fighter 6 were, oh my god, I'm sick of fighting JP. Oh my god, I'm sick of fighting Ken. And I've not been paying as much attention to the Street Fighter 6 community for the past year because I'm largely in waiting for Alex mode. But what I hear, and when I do hear from the Street Fighter 6 community is, oh my god, I am sick of Mai. Oh my god, I am sick of Ryu.
Yeah.
But mostly, oh my god, I am sick of Mai. I am sick of Mai. I am sick of Mai. Why does she get this fireball? Why does it work like this?
Yep.
Why God?
Yeah, the trifecta.
People,
yeah.
I've seen people going back from Mai and going like, playing against Mai has only now made me realize how much I hate Anji and Guilty Gear.
Fair. Yes.
They're getting so sick of her that they're looking at similar characters in other games going, oh, so bad, even though they're not as a high tier in that game.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
And of course, you and me coming over from KOF, we're like, Mai's Fireball is solid in KOF, but Fireballs don't matter that much in KOF. So when you think of Mai in KOF, you don't think of her tossing the fan so much as her doing stuff like Squirrel Dive and shit.
Yeah.
So looking over at Street Fighter and seeing that people hate Mai for her Fireball is weird, because that's just not a tool I've ever thought of as being a problem with her.
True, but at the same time, like, I think the major thing that separates Street Fighter Mai and KOF Mai, and to a lesser extent CVS Mai, or the thing that separates the KOF and CVS versions of Mai from the Street Fighter 6 version of Mai is that KOF and CVS 2 has dodge rolls.
Yes.
And Street Fighter 6 doesn't. It should. It really should. If Street Fighter 6 went, yo, dodge rolls, here, universal new mechanic, dodge rolls, fuck you. I would go, okay, cool, I don't have to play like the next 14 KOFs. Unless they do something really major. But
see, that's part of the thing when we get into like discussions of certain fighting game things. I think on some level, some fighting games we really wish would turn into other fighting games just so we wouldn't have to trust the dev that's in charge of that fighting game, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, a big part of, I think, why we would either of us want CVS 3 is because we're both in a position of we don't know if we can trust Saudi with KOF. Because with Fatal Fury, they've made several big blunders, and they don't look like they're in a position to learn much from it. Similarly, like, the last time we were playing Virtua Fighter, you were saying, every time I play Virtua Fighter, I remember that I don't like Virtua Fighter, and it makes me feel like I wish I was playing Dead or Alive instead.
Yeah.
And that one's in one where it's like, Virtua Fighter seems like it's actually in good hands now. Credit where credit is due. Neither of us are big Virtua Fighter fans, though. And Dead or Alive, comparatively, well, Ninja Gaiden 4 was good, so, hey, that gives hope that, Team Ninja can do some spicy stuff in the future. But there is a distinct chance that Dead or Alive for the foreseeable future is just beach bikini game.
Yeah.
Which, like, no.
Yeah, like the characters.
Look, I only want to play as Tina if I can powerbomb people.
I mean, you should be able to do that in the beach visual novel as well.
That would be a way to spice things up. Eliminating the opponents with volleyball team by powerbombing them into the net.
No, they don't volleyball
water.
anymore.
Oh, do they get rid of the parts where you actually play the game and now it's just looking at pictures of women in bikinis?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess that's cutting. Okay. Wait. I heard for years people saying, yo, it's actually a really fun sports game, even without all the titties. And I heard like a rather large player base of women that were like, yeah, I know it's supposed to be the titty game for men, but I just like the volleyball, though. Do they just get fucked? That entire player base of people that are picking up those games for that purpose? Do they just get fucked?
Yeah.
All right then.
The last time we looked this up, I think Extreme Beach Volleyball 3 was the last one. The last of the actual Extreme Beach Volleyball games. And since then, Extreme Beach has continued, but it's not volleyball anymore. And the newest Extreme Beach game was just a visual novel.
I thought 3 was the one they were still updating with more shit.
I don't know.
Fuck. I remember looking into this whenever I was getting into Dead or Alive 5 to like see like, okay, wait, are they going to do a Dead or Alive 7 at some point? And it seemed like the answer was for the moment they're making, gotcha porn money, so why not?
Yeah.
Or rather, why make a fighting game?
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's all like that really comes down to it, because also there's some stuff that I throw out sometimes because of this thing of wanting to turn into another. Because, like, sometimes I do jokingly suggest that Akuma should get air dasher mechanics because Guilty Gear is not coming back. And he should. It would be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's one of those things.
think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's one of those things where, like, if we reasonably actually like want to discuss the possibility of Akuma getting air dasher mechanics, I think it should be looked like, if we take the regular Street Fighter amount of balancing into consideration, it should be locked behind an install. But even still, it would be funny.
It would be funny. I don't go as serious on these comments though when I say stuff like that. Though, like, I do think it's worth noting if there was hypothetically to be a Marvel vs. Capcom 4, which jury's still out on that one, I guess.
Well, no, Jury would be in that.
What'd you say?
Jury would be in that.
Oh, yeah, she would. She would, yeah. You goof. All right. Good lord. If there was hypothetically to be a Marvel vs. Capcom 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 5, I think that Marvel Infinite showed that they knew Ryu and Akuma lacked sauce in 3 and 2, which is why Infinite was suddenly like, yeah, Ryu has all of the buttons now.
Yeah.
And I can't help the feeling that if Marvel vs. Capcom 5 did come around, it would probably more so have the mentality of like Akuma's just not as spicy when you put him in Marvel if you don't give him anything new to play with, which in Marvel 3 he doesn't really. So I would assume if Akuma ever came back around, it would be, yeah, we need to give him more stuff.
Yeah.
Either which way, I mean, in terms of like air dashers, I feel like the thing is, like, to a certain degree, tastes for these fighting games do not necessarily die off. It's just that you go through periods of the industry not catering to it. And I do think with air dashers, they can't stay away forever. I think one of the big things that's holding the air dasher back currently, I mean, the big thing that's holding the air dasher back currently is that Strive sold hotcakes. So Darksis isn't going to go back.
Yeah.
Because they need to make money, and previous Guilty Gears weren't really making them that much money. I do think that it's also a valid question holding Strive back, holding Air Dashers back, is that for the moment, Strive has hype behind it. Strive will likely continue to have hype behind it, continuing through the 2.0 DLC character releases. I do think that at some point when Strive's future, there will be somewhat of a kind of backlash against it. I think that you can carry through on hype. I think people who are going, okay, Strive, it doesn't feel as good because I don't have as much to do here. And it's cool that big counter hits and big special effects when I get a counter hit and all that. But yo, look, RoboKey. Oh. And we've seen this happen with fighting games before where there was something off about it to begin with, but they were able to keep the hype rolling so that people didn't notice. And then once the hype train started to kind of go out of steam, people started to go a bit more like, now that I'm not getting new toys to play with, I'm starting to notice some problems with the toys I already had. Because it is noticeable, at least to me, that there is a lot of a lot of the previous Air Dasher fiends, a lot of the previous Guilty Gear fiends, who, when Strive launched, were going, ooh, they changed a lot here, and it ain't the Guilty Gear I used to love. Nonetheless, we're like, okay, you know what? I'll stick with it anyways because I'm not going to get a new Guilty Gear otherwise. And they're kind of, they're just now floating around like, hey, I got my guy. My guy does my guy's things. At least it's not season 1 where it was just Soul and Potemkin. I'm now allowed to play other characters. Hey. And I think there's a very distinct chance that, especially with 2.0, having now, again, the mentality of everyone except Soul is too strong, time to buff Soul and nerf everyone else, there is a distinct chance that in the future, it comes back and wraps around. I do think that's an interesting question, though, when you run into these cases of how many times is it that we are not going to get a game that you want because there is currently a just kind of good enough acceptable substitute that's making other people who have the same taste as you be satisfied for the moment.
Yeah. I mean, there's the progenitor, Street Fighter 5.
Yeah. Yeah, Street Fighter. Oh gosh, Street Fighter 5 was real bad for that, where it's like, yeah, we're just not going to get a good Street Fighter for a good while. And it also comes into the question of like, not just is the developer themselves going to release a good equivalent? Because I don't see Arxis going back on, Air Dashers, possibly ever. Because Street Fighter sold well before Street Fighter 5 simplified things. Street Fighter 4 sold more copies than God.
Yeah.
So Capcom could be like, hey, what if we took a risk and went the opposite direction and made the game more complex instead of less complex? And it was not a huge risk for their corporate mentality because, like, well, we've had complex games in the past. And Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter 3 had some very obtuse mechanics that it took players years to figure out what exactly was going on there. So we could probably get away with this. Arxis management, I don't see them go. I don't see Ishiwatari coming up and saying, hey, Strife was a fun experiment, but let's go do Guilty Gear X3 and make it real crazy. I don't see Arxis management going, oh, so you want us to flush money down a toilet. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Granted, the sky can be the limit on these things, because sometimes you do see where a game developer gets to make some game of his dreams that was by all means very untenable. And people ask, like, how did this happen? And the developer pretty well says, I just had enough good cred that I went to the publisher and said, I want to do this, and you have to trust me because I've made you loads of money.
Yeah.
And the publishers say back, we don't think this is going to make money, but fuck it, we have to trust you at this point. We don't want you to quit.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yes, exactly. Which sadly, Itsuno spoiled Capcom's trust on that one. Well, did their Dragon's Dogma 2 sell well? Because I feel like it actually did have a lot hype behind it.
Dragon's Dogma 2 sold better than Dragon's Dogma 1, but
okay,
that's not saying much.
That also gets into a weird thing of like Dragon's Dogma. I feel like Dragon's Dogma 2, if even just stunk straight ass and wasn't just like, oh, it's the first game again. Even if it was like worse than the first game, it still would have sold well. It sold better than the first game because the first game no one was paying attention to at the time. But all these years later, people by now know Dragon's Dogma as, oh, that RPG with the crazy good character customization and all that crazy shit you can do. Yeah, I'd love for there to be another one.
Yeah.
I should probably pick up 2 at some point. Because I
don't know.
I know for a lot of people it's like, oh man, Dragon's Dogma 1, but just with better graphics. I could have just played the original Dragon's Dogma. But for me, as someone who only got 30 hours into the original Dragon's Dogma and just kind of tapered off.
See, no.
Fine with playing
That's the thing, though. Better graphics. That's the thing, though. You played Dark Arisen, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is less, because Dragon's Dogma 2 is not Dark Arisen, but with better graphics. It's vanilla Dragon's Dogma 1 with better graphics.
Okay, I never got into the Dark Dungeon Super Duper Dark Land on Dragon's Dogma. Is that the only thing they added with Dark Arisen?
No.
Okay.
They added save states, they added quality of life improvements. All of that gone into.
I see.
Like genuinely, people went. If this was an HD remake of Dark Arisen, I would go okay. Well, it's an HD remake of Dark Arisen. Dark Arisen is good. And then it wasn't even that.
Oh.
So yeah, like genuinely, I've seen people in the same comment. Like I've seen multiple of these comments where people would be would be like, "I played Dragon's Dogma 2. Here's what I experienced," and at the end, it just goes, "If any of that sounds fun, just buy the Horizon instead. It looks a bit shittier, but it's technically a better realized version of this."
Okay. Oh, one thing I do want to note, come to think of it, that's relevant for the idea of like hypotheticals of like what could happen to ever encourage Arxis to go back to doing air dashers. It does occur to me now. Here's another problem. Street Fighter 6 partly got set up by season 5 of Street Fighter 5, and it was for season 4 of Street Fighter 5, where increasingly after Ono left, the devs were coming in, the new devs were coming in and going, "But what if we did stuff?"
Yeah. What if characters got to do things?
And people were going, "Yo, if you make the characters do things, we'll buy it." So then the Street Fighter 5 devs the DLC devs, late support devs, could come back to Capcom management and say, "People like it when characters do things. They pay money for it." And
Yeah.
Capcom can be like, "Hey, all right, then make characters do things so we can make money." Arxis Ishwatari looks like he's going, "No, I want to see just how bare bones I can make this."
Yeah.
I've made a mistake by adding new moves to characters that weren't Soul. I need to set this. I need to set right what once went wrong. Good lord.
Like the only other thing that I can think of that might influence whatchamacallit, like what happens with Guilty Gear going forwards is Tokon. There we go. That's the name.
If Tokon crashes and burns, then yeah, that's bad news.
Yeah.
And the thing is, ordinarily you could say like, well, the Marvel brand though. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom never sold as well as you'd think it would have.
Yeah. And like I've already seen a lot of people turn on the game, which it's not really turning if you went, okay, I'll give it a shot, and then you gave it a shot, and you went, yeah, not my thing. That's not really turning on
Yeah.
the game. But yeah, so I've already seen a lot of people disappointed that it's very slow. The at the stage transitions, how they break up the pacing of the game, how there's fucking shit to do. There's nothing. So like, if
Granted,
that,
in a beta, there's gonna be nothing to do almost all the time.
I don't know. It depends on the game, I guess. Because like in the in the Uni 2 beta, there was shit to do. I got my ass kicked, but
Yeah, but that's from French bread. French bread's weird.
I don't remember the Fighter Z beta. I can't comment on that one.
Yeah. My memory was there was pretty well nothing to do because it was just we want to figure out if the servers are working.
I mean, yeah, but when people say there's nothing to do, they mean in the matches.
Oh yeah, that I have heard on all fronts that Tokon runs into the Fighter Z. Like, okay, initially there was excitement because hey, auto combos don't work like Fighter Z, where you had Fighter Z's weirdness of there are buttons I want that are only in the auto combo. So there was initially some excitement of like, oh, maybe it's not auto combo mania. No, it's worse. It's way worse auto combo mania than Fighter Z.
Don't you love auto
And
combos?
that's the primary thing what I've been hearing is like everybody runs the same combo. Doom can maybe spice it up a little bit with some goofery with the the Aegis. There we go.
Yeah.
With the Aegis, but other than that, no. They want it to be auto combo city so that Joe ball and gun game man can pick up the game and feel like he's doing stuff.
Which, like,
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Which I was gonna say, like, the thing with auto combos now and forever, always is like auto combos are fine if you can turn them off. If it's an option, then it's okay. But if it's not, then it's a problem.
Yeah. What was it I was going to say? Shit, how did we get here? Right, we were discussing whether Tokon's failure could handle this. Yeah, I that is relevant. If Tokon is like an absolute abject failure, then yeah, I think that is one thing that could maybe start to disamuse Arxis management from the idea of simplification is the key to success. Though even then, I would question if they'd go, well, Strive's the happy medium then. Because Tokon's simpler than Strive.
Yeah.
I think this would be one of those sorts of things. I think it's also relevant. It is relevant, the question of Strive 2 is something that would probably happen at some point. If something makes money, it gets a sequel. That's just generally a rule because we like money and we want to have more of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is then the relevant question of would people want Strive 2? Would Strive 2 sell well? And there's another, there is another relevant question to Strive that we're not bringing up just now. How many people buy Strive because Bridget, Testament, Biken?
Yeah. I mean, Testament. I haven't seen a lot of stuff about them. I've seen.
Really, I see tons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, most of the stuff I see for Gear to Gear is Bridget, and then sometimes Biken.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, then maybe I guess.
I mean, no matter what, that is the thing we talk about a lot in with handling fighting games, is that story and character are very relevant, much more relevant than some devs seem to believe.
Yeah.
And I do think that has been, to a certain degree, a major factor in Strive's success, is that Strive is a very pretty game with a big, loud aesthetic and a big, loud soundtrack. And the characters have very distinctive intros, and you have a story mode that's very nice, and all this, that, or another. And people have gotten attached to things from Strive's story, like Bridget, coming out of the closet and all that.
Yeah.
And so I do think that's relevant as a reason for Strive's success, especially given that Strive came out at the ass end of the simplify gameplay, remove story elements. We want to make this for the competitive pros, but we also don't want to make a game that the competitive pros would enjoy playing.
Yeah.
Strive came at the end of that, and having a lot of the attitudes it did was refreshing for a lot of people. So that is another relevant thing to sales, which could conversely then lead to, well, for one thing, if there's a hypothetical Strive 2, would people have had their fill of the Guilty Gear story and not be interested in where it's going forwards? Because that happens sometimes. Soul Calibur sold a lot of what it did on story rather than gameplay, and people eventually are like, yeah, I don't like where this is going. So Soul Calibur 4 and 5 and 6 didn't sell very well.
Well, no, actually, Soul Calibur sold well on Link. You see? And
how could I forget? It's the Zelda game. It's the secret Zelda game. Anyways, that's relevant. I think it's also relevant if Arxis is more or less saying, don't pay attention to what's going well for other fighting games. Let's do our own thing. I do think there's a relevant question of what if they make the exact same mistake Street Fighter 5 does or did, and go, okay, they like it simplified and they like big tournaments. Let's not put much money into the game story and put all of it into running the Arxis Pro tournament.
On one hand, I was gonna say that Daisuke probably wouldn't let that happen because he is like, I can see him driving the story because that's the most interesting part of Guilty Gear to him. I think maybe, but at the same time, I think
music.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think he said that Guilty Gear's story is done. So
Yeah, I mean, it gets iffy with some of those things because he's also said like, oh well, we might bring back the X gameplay style for an all-star game, and it's like one of those things of like, okay, could you possibly get that past Arxis management?
Yeah.
Though even then, you're starting to get into the things of like, is Arxis management paying attention?
Yeah. Is it like, I mean, okay, Arxis management really needs to shut the fuck up and sit down, considering the games that they are greenlighting. You know?
Oh boy, what has there? I mean, okay, jog my memory. What fuck ups are you talking about right now?
None in particular, but like, you know, Guilty Gear series wise hasn't sold great. I think like you can probably add up all the other shit Arxis has done that they have published or released, and their gross like capita would probably be like maybe a half of Guilty Gears combined. So like the only two series for Arxis that may ever made money are Guilty Gear and BlazBlue.
Fighter Z made money. Fighter Z made
But
money.
yeah. But it was a Team Red effort, so or whatever, Team Blue effort, I think, whatever. But like, you know, they're like two fighting game teams make money. French Bed makes some money enough for them to keep publishing them. But like aside from that, aside from their fighting game division, everything they put out is a flop.
Have they kept doing that in the days after
Yes.
Strive, or was that just an old school Arxis thing?
Yes, they literally had Daisuke come on to host a direct, an Arxis direct, where they announced no fighting games. It was all like regular ass indie games that you'd see. That they're
Right, I remember this. Yes, and people were getting big mad because they thought Arxis only made fighting games.
yeah.
I mean, speaking of non-fighting games from Arxis and Ishiwatari being a weird dude, there is a non-zero chance that Guilty Gear Strive 2 is like a first-person shooter.
Yeah. No. Guilty Gear Strive 2 is an extraction shooter.
Yeah, there you go. Man, did I already tell you that I don't know what extraction shooters are. I see people play. Tarkov's an extraction shooter, right?
Yes. It's like
Okay.
the original one, I think. One of them, at least.
Oh, okay. I don't really know what that is, but I remember like a year ago I saw Hunt Showdown pop up on the Steam front page. And I clicked on it because I was like, yeah, whatever. It's the highly rated Western game, and this aesthetic looks cool. And it's like, oh, it's a gothic, like fantasy Western where there's like monsters and you hunt monsters, and there's a big roster of playable characters with differing abilities. This sounds badass. All right, and it's multiplayer. You like hop in with your buddies and you go out into like the Bayou Swamp or the Old West and you hunt monsters playing as these Western characters. This sounds awesome. Wait, not 4-player, like 60-player? You're in a competition between all these teams of 4 to see who can kill the monster, and actually it just boils down to killing each other. Oh, this is Fortnite, but you threw a monster in.
Yes, so extraction shooters are reverse battle royales. They are a TNA match. But so what happens in them is that you spawn in some building. You have to go through the building. Well, generally speaking, I don't actually know. I've seen footage of Tarkov. I've seen footage of some other extraction shooters. They blend together. I'm sorry, they just do. But
Yeah. Well, I see now Escape from Duckov. What the fuck is
yes,
that?
that's 1 sec. I'm getting a call. Fucking A.
Oh.
I was
Oh.
so excited.
All right, we're back. I have ended
Is it
my
about
call.
sexy fighting?
No,
Is
but
it about
maybe.
sexy fighting game women?
Maybe.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
all right. So the topic for this FGA is, and I want us to discuss this topic, as in like I want us to take the words and then put limiters on it probably. But
Oh.
the topic for this week is, what do you want in fighting games?
I want
Oh.
more
So-
hot babes.
Yeah.
Specifically, the roster ratio needs to be significantly more favored toward hot babes than just generic fighter guys.
Okay,
I'm looking
Pink.
at you. What's the one? Not Guilty Gear.
Blaze Blue?
City of Wolves.
City of Wolves.
Yeah.
There's like a prefix before City of Wolves because I know City of
Fatal
Wolves
Fury.
is the subtitle. Fatal Fury, that's the one. Looking at you, Fatal Fury, but also Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear would be a lot more successful if it focused more on the babes and less on the dudes. All I'm
Pink.
saying.
May I turn your attention to what's it called? Arcana Heart, which it is women.
Does
it's not
have
hot
the sort of
babes.
woman he's looking for.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not hot babes, but it is women technically.
Tiny little princess schoolgirls.
Well,
Not all of them, I think, but most of them, yes. I'm trying to think of like other.
Question.
Yeah.
I have a quick question to ask Pink. So in Super Smash Brothers, what does Terry have on his hat in his default attire? What logo is that?
I don't know.
He has the Fatal Fury logo on his hat.
Oh!
In his most famous game appearance.
I should have known.
It does change depending on the outfit, though. When you change it to the other, it's like, the Pikachu hats and so on.
Yeah.
I think one of them has the KOF logo, something like that,
Something like that.
Oh, boy. Well, here's... The thing is that what you want, Pink, has in a sense existed, except it's not been what you want, right?
ODOA.
This is true.
Because Addy just listed off, anime schoolgirl game, which is somebody's idea of sex appeal.
So, I was just trying to think. I was trying to think of like what are games where there's literally no men, or like there's maybe a guy, but otherwise it's all women, and it's mostly anime waifu games, and SNK Heroines Frenzy.
Yeah, I mean, when you say no guys, it makes me think of Skullgirls, which Skullgirls does have 2 men on the roster, Beowulf and Big Band.
Yeah.
Big Band.
And credit where credit's due, the women in Skullgirls are a good bit more thicker around as a general rule than the women in, like, pretty well any game to come out of Japan, with a few exceptions like, what's Painwheel? There we go. Like, Painwheel's very skinny, but other than that, like, Philia and is it Philia or Celia? I can't remember. But Evil Hair Woman and Muscle Woman, there you go. But like the most fan service heavy fighting game that is not Arcana Hearts is Dead or Alive, but Dead or Alive is very much a product of the time period where the feminine ideal in fashion was anorexia with breast implants.
That's just no good.
The thing is, I think the first thing Pink should wish for before anything of like that, the first thing Pink should wish for is for any fighting game to introduce a fat woman.
Gotta start small. Well, start large, but small enough.
Addy, can you think of any fighting games with a playable fat woman character on the roster other than Clay Fighter?
One Piece? Probably.
There isn't a One Piece fighting game.
There is! There's 2 on the DS, the 3DS!
There's no way it has Big Mom. She's too big to fit on the screen.
I don't know about that. I know that there is a One Piece fighting game on the 3DS. I don't know the roster. I think the roster is Dragon Ball. Because there was also a Dragon Ball fighting game released around the same time, and they made it by the same people. So they made it so you can play matches through the 2 games.
I do not remember this, but I believe
it's Japan
in its
exclusive.
existence. Yeah, that happens a lot.
Here's this cool shit, Japan only.
Yeah. All right, now Pink, let me ask you. All right, step 1 for what you want is hot chicks. Step 2, what's step 2?
Money. I mean, I hadn't thought that far ahead.
And anytime you try to think that far ahead, you just wind up going back to the hot chicks.
Yeah.
That's just how it be, yo.
It's like rubber banding, except that the thing that you're rubber banded to isn't moving. You just get slung back whenever you push too far ahead.
See, I've never had to think this far ahead because nobody's ever given me what I want.
That's true.
Nobody's ever given me what I need. It's injustice.
You have not yet encountered the inevitable question that is, when you are given what you want, when you give a mouse a cookie, then he just wants more. The moment they release the Thick Chicks fighting game, it comes to find out, oh, but you know what else we need?
I think for ours, so we probably need to whatchamacallit, we probably need to set boundaries because like at mine at least are probably unrealistic. And I can have I can have realistic expectations too, but it's not like what I want, you know?
Okay, I just figured out what I want.
Yeah.
Give me my fighting game, video game with hot, thick chicks in it. Change the control schemes where it's not the old school arcade stick controls. God gave us multiple buttons on the controller interface in the year of 2026 for a reason. We can use them. We don't have to default to swinging the stick around like a possessed ape and smacking single buttons to get an input out. It's ridiculous. We're living so far in the future, and we're still held back by the limitations of 1994. I don't understand.
I just realized this whole time we've been going, oh, Pink comes at fighting games from the Smash Brothers perspective. He doesn't want to do stuff with a stick because in Smash Brothers, you just press a single direction with a stick. No, Pink now saying we have all these buttons, why aren't we using them, has made me realize, no, Pink's coming at fighting games from the Soul Calibur perspective of why should I have to put in motions when I can put in X, Y, X, Y, A, B? Or I can press all these buttons at the same time and get moves. Pink's not coming at things from the platform fighter perspective. He's coming at things from the 3D fighting perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't have 3D because 3D fighters suck outside of Soul Calibur.
And that's the thing. The 3D fighter that makes Pink happy hasn't had a good game in 20 years.
Yeah.
I was able to mod Lady Dimitrescu into Soul Calibur, whatever the recent one was, though, so that was cool.
No!
It's pretty great, yo. I think I have a screenshot of it somewhere. I'll have to share it sometime.
Oh, shit. And this is, of course, that funny thing where it's like, well, you know, there is a 2D fighter that is less intense on the motions and more intense on press these buttons in the right order. You know what 2D fighter that is, Pink?
I have no idea.
Mortal Kombat.
No!
Trudeau! Mortal Kombat is designed like a 3D game, so it checks out.
Yes! Because Ed Boon, when he was making the 3D fighters and then the HD games, was like, yeah, I like Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
It's also why Mortal Kombat's the only 2D fighting game where throws whiff on crouching opponents. It's the only one. No other 2D fighting game does that because it's fucking weird. Oh, shit.
What I've learned today is that what I want is not actually what I want.
Yeah.
No.
What you've learned today is that you don't want to meet your heroes.
Oh, hell. See, I have a really nice, convenient, clean, quick answer I can give.
Badasses.
What'd you say?
Badasses.
That's part of it. No, if I was like, okay, right now, what's the ideal thing you would really want? I gotta say, right now, living in the year of our Lord 2026, where there is a good Street Fighter 6, what I want next is gonna seem kind of off the wall.
So better Street Fighter.
You want a bad Street Fighter 6?
Yes, I want Street Fighter 7. I want to suck ass. No. I want Injustice 3.
Oh.
I want it to be remade from the ground up. Don't do what Injustice 2 did. where you recycled loads of Injustice 1 assets, because Injustice is jank and fucked up by nature. The first two were. Do Injustice 3. I want Injustice 3, though, start over on these dudes. Maybe keep Joker from MK11 and Peacemaker from MK1, because they actually felt pretty good. Maybe keep them. But go in and say, fuck it. We're going in on these crazy systems. And you know what? We're going to go in on some shit you wouldn't think that we would ever do here at NRS. Superman has 8-way air dash, like fucking Magneto.
And no projectiles.
And no projectiles. Exactly. Superman, look at multiverses, right? Multiverses fucked up a lot of things. I mean, but multiverses got Superman right.
Okay, but imagine though if Injustice 3 has insta kills and Superman uses his heat vision in that and just vaporizes the other guy.
That's Homelander. That's just Homelander. That already exists in MK11.
Yes, but Injustice Superman is just Homelander though.
He is, which is why I was about to get to the next point. Story-wise, it's about the Okay. Injustice 2 had 2 endings, depending on whether you pick to play as Superman or Batman. If you pick to play as Batman, then Batman beats Brainiac, and then Superman's like, well, now that we beat Brainiac, I'm going to have to kill you and bring back the regime. And Batman's like, nah. And then he beats up Superman and, back to, whatever, the whatever. So evil Superman's in prison, yada, 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 who cares? The other ending where if you played as Superman beats Brainiac and is like, all right, well, time to kill Batman and return the regime. And then he uses Brainiac's mind control to mind control Batman and all the various superheroes that disagreed with him, right?
Yeah.
Injustice 3's story, I'm going to say, follows the bad end of Injustice 2. And it is Injustice, you remember Injustice 1, the base DC universe where Superman is not a piece of shit, commenting and going, you know what? Fuck these people. And pimp slapping Injustice Superman for 5 hours. We're fixing it. We're fixing it. We're doing it.
See, I thought you were going for a joke where you go, okay, Street Fighter is in a really good spot right now. So what I want is Street Fighter even better.
Oh, okay. Oh God, I wouldn't know what to ask for. Street Fighter
yeah, that's just
real. I mean, at that point, I would instead be asking for Guilty Gear X3.
True.
There would be like a Street Fighter 7 that's like, make it better though. I would just be like, duh.
What do you want? What do you want to Street Fighter 7? The grid meter.
Yeah, like the best I could muster up is like get rid of throw looping? Question mark.
That and like genuinely, I think the only thing that they could do to improve Street Fighter 6. Well, no, they improve Street Fighter 7, when it's just a carbon copy of Street Fighter 6, but they just fix some problems and add new mechanics. The one thing that I can think of. Yeah, the one thing that I can think of that they could add that wouldn't be fucking dumb is the groove system. My beloved.
What? The groove system's badass, but it is scary for people that don't know what they're doing. The thing is, so much of it is like, okay, well, Street.
It makes you dance funky. Get in the groove.
Right, fair enough. I'm sold.
If they were like, okay, what new mechanics do you for Street Fighter 7? Like, Street Fighter 6 has everything.
Yeah.
It's where do we go from here? Street Fighter 6 already had the mentality of like, fuck it, let's just bring back all the mechanics.
Genuinely, the only things that I can think of that I, as someone who doesn't work in video games and thus is not creative enough with video games, like I can only think of them just like taking mechanics from other games. And it's like, okay, well, the groove system could be fun if you want to break up the way that Street Fighter 6 is made up. So in one thing you get alpha counters and air block. In another thing you get parries, but they're easier to do again. Another one gets fucking, I don't know, Street Fighter 2, so they get to do 2 moves, but it does 50% each of them. Things like that. And then the other one that I can think of is like, okay, we have drive rush canceling and people hate it. Roman cancel. What if?
Ugh. Oh man. So, all right. What do you want from fighting games, Addy?
I mean, okay. Do you want an actual like realistic thing, or do you want just never happening again, or ever really when you think about it?
I don't think, from Pink's perspective, I don't think we're going to get a 2D fighting game of loads of hot, thick chicks that also controls like a 3D fighter. And from my perspective, I think that odds are if Injustice 3 is coming and MK1 didn't sell super well, that Netflix or Paramount or whoever is going to tell NRS, simplify, don't complicate.
Yeah.
MK1 didn't sell well because it was too complicated. So I don't see my Injustice 3 wishes being realistic. And I definitely don't see them ever bringing out an Injustice 3 where they honestly just say the Injustice universe was a mistake and have main universe Superman come in and pimp slap everybody for 5 hours.
But they should.
They should. They absolutely should. Batman should take his alternate universe Injustice self and put him in a little box in the Batcave and pee on him every day.
All right. Well then.
What? Injustice Wonder Woman should be brought over to the alternate universe, and the main universe in Amazon should just put her in a circle and all punch her and kick her.
Thought you were gonna say the Amazon should put her in a sleeper hold. Just all of them at once.
Yeah. Everybody wrapped your arms around this woman's neck. Oh shit! Your arms wrapped around my neck. Oh.
So yeah, let's see. For me, I mean, okay, the most unrealistic one that I think would be like, this isn't even like IP specific. So like, I don't know. Let's pretend it's Capcom versus. Capcom just announces, "Yo, we're making a crossover game. Who is it with?" Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 100 character roster. Hear me out.
Oh boy,
that's a lot of characters.
Like around the complexity gameplay wise of like Street Fighter 6, like somewhere between that and Uni,
Okay.
Or if we're doing a crossover, then you could also just rely on the group system and just make it so there's like 15 groups for every game represented. Who knows?
Oh, 103 characters with 15 groups each. Okay, have you ever seen a tier list for Capcom vs. SNK 2?
Yes, it's very funny.
Combat X.
Yeah.
Where the tier list is like a fucking mountain because we have to tier all 6 variations of Sagat, all 4 variations of Triborg.
Yeah. But yeah, like 15 grooves, I don't think is realistic, but like, like, or, I don't know how to put it. Like, I don't think the game should actually have 16 grooves.
Balance would be non-existent.
Yeah. Like, I don't think the game should actually have 15 grooves, but I think, like, it should work roughly off of the same idea as CVS2, where it's like, all right, here's these games that are represented in this roster. Here's mechanics that resemble the mechanics of their original game. And then, put grooves around that. Build grooves around that. And then, let's see. What was I gonna add? Fuck. I mean, that's honestly it. Like, DLC support in a realistic time frame. So maybe the game shouldn't look like fucking Street Fighter 6.
I'm shocked that in your like ideal dream scenario you would have DLC and it wouldn't just be like, nah, it has everything at launch.
I mean, I have my limits. Like, shit having everything at launch is like, it's not happening ever again. It barely happened before DLC, but it's not happening ever again.
Oh man.
So, at that point I just go, okay, well, it's like, I don't know, 100 characters, like, either at launch or close to launch. Like I'd be willing to wait, I don't know, half a year to actually hit that number. And then like, I don't know, depending on the complexity of characters, the models, and also the mechanical stuff, somewhere between 4 and 10 characters each season.
I mean, if it took a year to make, we were just saying this is a totally unrealistic dream scenario, but nonetheless, if we're saying like, 4 to 10 characters a year, how long would it have taken to get the 100 on the base roster then?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm assuming they would slow down. Like I don't see this selling well. If it ever comes into being, I think this would be an official Mugen. This would be like Harada would be coming buckets if this got announced. But otherwise, like,
well, if you say 100 characters and it's like graphically looks pretty.
No, that's the thing I said.
sell.
That's the thing I said. It shouldn't look like Street Fighter 6 because Street Fighter 6 is very graphically intensive, and that makes it so characters come out like it takes a long time for characters to be made.
Well, wait, are we in a dream scenario or not?
I put arbitrary rules on my games so that they seem more realistic. No, but
I think there is a greater chance that we get some kind of crazy like all-star game sometime in the next 20 years than the chances of us getting an Injustice 3 where they're like, yeah, let's just shit all over the pre-existing Injustice universe that for several comic fans is their only exposure to the comics. Let's take one of the more successful, much to my chagrin, and I'm sure Pink's chagrin as well. Let's take one of the most successful comic series of the last decade, and let's make a game where we just take our pants down and spread our cheeks and just unload on
it.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Well, here's the thing. That kind of did happen with Ultimatum, with Ultimate Marvel, but that wasn't meant to be shitting all over it. They thought that was
it was an accidental.
It was an accidental ass spreading.
Yeah. IBS.
Oh, poor Jeff. Poor Mr. Loeb. His son died and it gave him IBS.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
So yeah, but yeah, like graphics wise, I'm not sure what I would actually want specifically because I don't really think about that shit.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
What art direction do you want?
That's a good question. I think it would depend on the IPs, because
graphics budget is infinite. What art direction do you want?
Yeah, like once again, I think it depends on the IPs involved. Because if it's more, serious stuff, then I would want something closer to Street Fighter 6's art style, because it would be funny to see, I don't know, like Soul Bad Guy, but he's rendered like the fucking Brawl intro cinematic, But conversely, if there's more anime IPs involved, then I think it should be handled by Arxis.
I mean, if you're talking the ultimate super duper crossover of all time forever, then either way you're going to have weirdness of like, oh, here's Soul, but in realistic graphics. Or alternatively, well, here's Johnny Cage, but he's anime man.
Yeah. I mean, I almost lean towards the realistic graphics just because I find it funny when it's like here's a realistic anime man. His body is still stylized, his clothing is still stylized. It just has very realistic textures.
Oh god, you get into the Tekken issue where like the hairs are realistically rendered, but Lars still has his god awful stupid hairstyle.
Yeah.
He looks like he's just hit himself with the fucking Cameron Diaz something about Mary special.
But yeah, like I think that would be funny, but I think that would be a turn off for most people. Yeah. Like personally, I had no fucking problem with Jump Force. Like no, I had problems with Jump Force, but none of them were the graphics. That's a more apt way to put it.
Jump Force still sold really well, didn't it?
No.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, like yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say about Jump Force, like it was a really daring decision to go. Okay, so we have all of these like comic characters. What if we put them into photorealism?
At the time, I'm sure they thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Like I liked how the effects looked in Jump Force, like how the lighting and shit looked on the character models. The character models look fucking uncanny. So
Oh, I don't. When I think of Jump Force, the only thing I can think of with Jump Force is that one dude they added that wasn't like super at all, couldn't fly or anything like that. He was like a detective from some detective anime or something. And I remember him popping up in a super move compilation where his super move was to just get in a car and run the opponent over.
nice. I remember Kaiba was a stand user in a game with Jotaro, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I want out of fighting games. The game with large roster, big mechanics. Also bring back archaic fucking motion inputs. Not just
Oh boy.
not just regular motion inputs. The pink. No, I mean like the real shit. I mean the pentagram. I mean the pretzel.
The pentagram only existed in one game. Don't
True.
you lie.
I mean, oh fuck! What was it? What was that one? There was some weird ass motion. Oh yeah. So I learned recently in Metro Melee, the dog has a cyclone move that he does by pressing back forward back.
Oh god.
Yeah,
That's
shit
a
like that.
fatality input.
Yeah, shit like that. Like you get fucking like I don't know. Get like a KOF combat designer on that, so everyone has 5 million moves and just fill that shit up with inputs that make no sense. Like make the basic tools have basic inputs, and then the more esoteric the move, the more esoteric the input. That would be really funny.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then also all of the mechanics burst, fucking Roman cancel, the grid meter. Might be love it.
Put burst in and also combo break.
Yes, and also limit or whatever it was called in Blaze Blue.
I think that was. Oh god, yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, put in Red Spark as well. Fuck it.
Oh shit. Well, on that strange and cursed note, would you say the fighting games were?
I suppose they were. Pink? Were fighting games?
Were they though?
Ah!
The fighting games aren't until there are hot thick babes in them.